Sango, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Akwesasne Review, the first TV show dedicated to bringing you current events and highlights from in and around Akwesasne.
And we are your panel of hosts. I'm Ryan King.
I'm Anthony Tillman.
I'm McDonald.
And I am Benjamin Herne. So we have a really good show for you guys today, and the first topic is kind of heated. So recently, I'm going to actually just take a little cue from here. We're going to talk about the Mikinaks tribe, and I'm going to maybe use air quotes when I say Mikinaks tribe out of Beauharnois, Quebec. This is a woman that tried to use a tribal card at Costco and it was denied. So now she's seeking federal recognition to become a tribe. Her name is Lise Brisbois, and she really wants to become part of the Native community.
She is trying so hard to be Native. It's not even funny. It's not funny, but it is funny because if you've ever, I don't want to be stereotypical, but it's what she's presenting herself as. She's went out and got herself a spray tan, dyed her hair black. She wears leather fringe. She has a headband that is made in China. You know, if you think of any hokey stereotype in which to present yourself as,
she's playing it out.
She's playing the role, and she's chalking it up to, hey, I'm Native. I can wear a headband. I can carry around a totem pole, a legit totem pole at all of my protests. If you ever look at, Google what this looks like. She has a totem pole that she's in every shot with. It's ginormous.
Doesn't she ride a horse too?
In one of the shots, I think she was on a horse.
What?
And it's just as hokey and as stereotypical as you can think of a Native being. This lady is presenting herself in that light. And
Bottom line is that she's actually doing this for not the recognition of I am Native American. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud of my ancestry. It's because she wasn't given and afforded a discount. She's doing this for monetary reasons. And people can see right through her. She's even tried to say, Akwesasne supports me and I have full support from, this reservation. Not true. Not true, people.
And I think it's more than that. I mean, I think she is trying to make it that they're looking for recognition and respect, but it is for they call benefits of the tax exemption. And the worst part about that is, they've threatened to do blockades and stuff like that with the Costco thing, but that takes away from all the things that us as Native people have fought for and the reasons why we blocked those bridges and the rights that Natives have been fighting for forever. You know what I mean? It means that just they want to block something because Costco didn't remove their taxes.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? How many years have we been fighting for so many bigger issues than tax exempt?
Right.
If she wants to be Native, why doesn't she go talk to any of these northern communities that are suffering, don't have running water? You know what I mean? That's important issues. Those are the things, the missing and murdered Indigenous women, those are important issues, not the tax exempt removal at Costco. You know what I mean? And as a Native person, I think that she would understand that. You know
right.
what I mean?
And as a devil's advocate, I typically try to combat what other people say, but I think on this issue, I have to go with the mockery aspect of it as well. Not knowing the struggles and just doing it for monetary reason, that is just a slap in the face to a lot of Native people in this community. And around the country and around the world. Lady, I'm sorry to put it this way, but if you are going to say that you are, have some legitimacy to what you want to do with it.
Not just
because I have a faction of
yes.
Exactly. And you know what? Also, don't put other communities' names on your, endeavor because it's going to blow up in your face.
My question is, how is she not being charged with monetary fraud at this point? Because she's telling everybody, if you want this card, come see me, set up appointments. Come, I will make you a card, but it's at $80 per card.
Yeah, and she keeps have to name one person that is one of your ancestors that was Native.
You just have to name someone. It could be 8, 9, 10 generations back. It could be from the founding of the country of Canada that you had a Native ancestor that is in your genealogical family tree. That's all you have to say. And then you get one of these cards for $80 a pop. And she keeps saying she has upwards of 2, 3, 4, 5. It's like 100 people every week that she has these cards for. So that's thousands and thousands of dollars that she's getting out of people for a card that basically means absolutely nothing.
Well, and she devalues what we are as a community as well. She devalues it. But you know what? When we talk about Native community, there's always seems to be a lot of information out there for negative things. And that kind of brings us up to our next topic as well.
Well, I just want to say one thing.
Okay. Anthony's got
I
some
was
words.
gonna say, it didn't
Anthony's
say
got some
nothing
words.
yet.
What you
Here we
got?
go.
What
If
you
you
got?
can't beat them, join them. That's her motto.
You put your
Okay.
money on the table.
Yep.
Put your money on
Well,
the
we
table.
can buy
Get
what
you
she's
a
got on her
card.
forehead at Walmart, so let's just say that.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say about that.
So up next, we're going to talk about the book that was published in March called Takedown, A Small Town Cop's Battle Against the Hells Angels and the Nation's Biggest Drug Gang. So let's find out how that ties into Akwesasne.
Well, first of all, I think it came down to I had never even heard of the book yet. So we're on, as if nobody knew, we are on a little feed just amongst ourselves, and Amber had found some information and was sharing some of the pages on here. Wow.
Sharing some. I shared the whole book.
She was like, "Oh, it's only 4 pages."
I didn't
It was a
read, I didn't
chapter.
read the book because I didn't have time. By the time it was
Right.
brought to me, I didn't have time to read the book. But my informant kind of, gave me some insight into what he was reading. And he came in one morning and was like, "You'll never believe this." You wouldn't believe what I'm reading. So it was published in March of 2016 by Forge Books Publishing, and it's Jeff Buck with John Land and Lindsay Preston. And I have some little things here. I don't know if we want to read.
Oh, we'll
them
just
or-
jump
By-
in. Go ahead.
by
We'll
all
jump in
means.
where we want.
I just like how she used the word informant. Like, you
Right.
can tell she's been reading the book. My informant helped. Hopefully.
But we're gonna keep it all anonymous.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
it's all
Hopefully. She's-
Talking
Live
about
in the
drug.
book now,
She's
I
talking
know.
about drug rings and stuff. So you're gonna,
Yeah, okay.
just
I'm getting the
inform it.
lingo down.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know, just a couple things. And the guy that did read it was telling me that he didn't want to read it. You know what I mean? Like it was upsetting to him the things he was reading and stuff. But at the same time, he would put it down. But at the same time, he was like, I need to know more. I need to read it. And I don't want to promote the book because now I feel like people are gonna well, I want to know what it says too. But it's just interesting read, and it just shows you how people I don't know, I don't want to say
kinda-
romanticize Native people, but how they talk down about the res, it's just the same old thing in media.
That we're a
Stereotypes
violent,
that
that
we
we're a
have.
violent group of people that are very unaccepting of any other culture or religion, and that if you come here, you're in peril, you're in danger, and that we're just gambling. I mean, the list goes on for what people think of us.
Yeah.
And this book, apparently, it kind of exemplifies that perception.
Well, one quote that I found is, in quotes, "And when the river freezes, it becomes quite literally an ice highway to hell. In addition to nation's best cigarettes, foreign sex slaves and illegal aliens are trafficked across the St. Lawrence through Mohawk land. One of the 9/11 hijackers entered the United States this way, and the Department of Homeland Security still considers it to be a potential hotbed of terrorist incursions."
Wow.
Sources,
Yes.
come on. Okay, first of all, where do they get their information? Where's the legitimacy of these? Are these factual claims? And if it is from the federal government, how is this person getting the
Exactly.
information? My God, it's just them saying what they want to say, in my opinion, to sell books. And for them to be like, hey,
That's their job.
Well, it's definitely their job, but at the same time, I mean, there's got to be some responsibility here as well.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
mention
this
names,
guy
do they
was
not?
the undercover. Yes, there is a whole glossary of names,
Wow.
people from the reservation, what they do, different things. So the book description says, as Buck, who was Jeff Buck, the guy who wrote it or whatever, reluctantly plunges back into his old world of death and deceit. I love these words. He uncovers a complex chain linking the Hells Angels to the Russian mafia and a plot to use Native American tribal land to smuggle their deadly wares into the United States, from grow houses set ablaze in Quebec to the insular St. Regis Mohawk Indian Reservation, from boardrooms and biker wars to the frozen rivers that serve as private turnpikes for the drug gangs. Buck opposes a serpentine criminal enterprise that has every reason to want to end his crusade in violence and bloodshed.
Are we naive to what's going on here, or is this just fiction? My
not
goodness.
But I don't want to. We can't say that smuggling and all that hasn't happened here. It
Oh,
has.
absolutely.
We have
know
to acknowledge that.
We've
fact.
talked about that before.
It's just the fact that they are over exaggerating everything. Like this
Oh, we're
is
dramatizing
You guys
for sure.
are, as much as it's supposed to happen up here. You guys are pretty nice and decent. The culture, it's not like it is in inner cities. It's not like it is any place that I've been. So when I moved up here, I was surprised. I was like, with all this because this is what I've heard being in Oklahoma for a while. This is what that book is
You
what you
thought you
hear.
were
I'm like,
coming here
oh man,
to
I'm
that.
coming up here. It's gonna be all right. So And it's nothing like that.
Right.
Yeah, you guys, this book is, I don't even want to read the book.
And then
It would just
according to
make me mad.
passages in that book, because there's other things that Amber had shared with us, that without this drug trade, or without this person in general that they're speaking to, or that this kingpin that he took down in the book, without him, none of us would be here. We'd all be in poverty. We'd all be drug dealers. We'd all
I
be
have that quote.
drug addicts. You know, and she has a quote, like she can read it in a minute, but it just goes back to show that people are going to read this and are going to think that now that the gentleman who in question from this book is in jail, we're all sunk back into poverty.
Yeah.
None of us have jobs. None of us have education to fall back on. We're all just loser bum drug dealers up here. That's not the case.
All right, I want to hear this passage.
Okay, so
Let's
it
hear it.
says, look at the number of natives he employed, providing them with income and decent lifestyles, lifting them from the poverty that might have otherwise claimed them. So the reservation was dependent on him in ways that made him a revered figure among the Akwesasne people.
And back to Ryan's point, I think people, I know,
Like, oh my God. Like,
unfair and unjust.
I know.
But, you know, and it goes back to us finding out that our community is part of some of the highest, most educated community in the entire country.
Yeah.
You know, and we do have federal government and federal ties as well. So would we survive without that trade? Sure. However, they make it sound like, you know, it was
We're nothing
we're a
without it.
one-horse pony. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
We're just one stop.
Like,
Look
now
at
that
all
it's
the-
done, we're all dead.
Look at
That's
all the
it.
other tribes that have been successful with, and they're not on the border like us. Like, you can't, that doesn't justify, and that's just so wrong. Like, oh, wow. Like,
Well, and even the implications of the Russian mob and
Hells
Hells
Angels,
Angels and maybe
yeah.
the Chinese mafia, whoever it may be. We know that we're on the St. Lawrence and that we're on the cusp of Quebec, Ontario, and the United States. We're unique in that aspect. But what they need to realize is that community is strong. We are very community tied together, and when there's benefits, people come out, and there's softball tournaments, and you know we have these festivals, and we advocate friendliness, and they leave all that out.
And part of that too is that because of that whole feeling of community, when people write these things about this person or about these few individuals that they've mentioned in the book, we all take it to heart as well.
'Cause it's
we're
falsified.
very passionate, and we are a community, so we do take it.
And maybe we know the
You know?
person that's in question, but all we know is that we together, we have a pretty decent area. Like Anthony, you were saying, you've lived in other areas. You came here, you couldn't believe how much family and how close knit and
that's the truth to it. That's why it surprised me. I'm like, wow, you guys stand up for each other. Like, I may disagree with Amber today, but if there's a benefit or there's something to do, we will come together. And like I said, the book, it's just frustrating because it
Yeah.
does not incorporate what
well, it's
we
not
are as a
indicative of
people.
who we are as a
No,
as a
it's,
at all.
community.
it's not.
Exactly.
It's
That's
not.
not.
And that's what's frustrating.
But you know what? The people that do read this from our community are going to know a lot of information is falsified. What does concern me is how the outside community is going to read this, because
Correct.
we're always trying to justify how we are as a community. We're always protecting ourselves, but also we constantly have to explain to people that's not us.
Yeah.
And this only sets us back. So we just want to say, as a community, make sure that people know that we're a friendly, loving environment that people can come to.
And don't buy the book.
Yeah, don't buy the book. Don't feed into it.
And that
Yes,
was part of it,
please.
like he learned about the book and he was like, and then he was reading it and he says there are a lot of where it says it's not uncommon for res life this, it's not uncommon for res life that, and it was like it's not uncommon for people that have children at 16 years old and just all these
anywhere. My
generalizations that could be
goodness.
any
Right.
place, not just
Yeah.
res life.
I have a
you know?
job, a car, take care of my children, and I'm perfectly fine. I didn't do that with drug money, smuggling money, any type of money but my own hard-earned money. Like, that's how we are. That's who we are as a people.
Yeah, and there was obvious things that he read where it talked about specifics about the individuals involved, or and just blatant lies, like descriptions of people, and describing a certain individual a certain way, talking about romanticizing his looks, talking about his full head of dark hair, his copper-colored skin, and his midnight eyes.
Oh, midnight eyes.
Are you talking about me? Are you talking about me?
And that I took a whole class that talked about romanticizing of native cultures, and that's exactly this description. I don't know. It's just frustrating to me.
With that being said, we're going to shoot the commercial. We'll be right back.
Joseph's Fine Jewelry on the Akwesasne Mohawk territory. Joseph's Fine Jewelry hosts Pandora, Chrysalis, Obaku, and Uno to 50 lines, which are exclusive to Joseph's Fine Jewelry. We are the only local dealer Pandora from Watertown to Plattsburgh. All sales with Joseph's Fine Jewelry are tax-free, so come see us at Joseph's Fine Jewelry, where we can design the ring of your dreams.
Whether it's for business or just a getaway, Cape Air is your wings in the Northeast. Cape Air serves 17 destinations throughout the Northeast, including Ogdensburg, Messina, and Saranac Lake in New York, Rutland in Vermont, and Lebanon in New Hampshire. Enjoy fast, frequent flights and easy access to your connections through Boston and Albany. Cape Air connects you to the Northeast and the world. Book today at capeair.com or call 800-CAPE-AIR and enjoy the ride.
All right, welcome back. Up next, we're going to talk about the nationwide story that's been hitting everybody, which has been the shootings of police and of the Black Lives Matter people. So that's a little bit of a hot topic right now.
I think it's a huge topic.
It's like ginormous right now.
It doesn't matter where you're from. It's kind of like, hi, I don't like you, so I'm going to feel like I'm within my right to not only physically assault you, but end your life. It's got to stop nationwide.
Okay, and it's not, I get frustrated because what's happening on my Facebook feed is I'm starting to see my non-native friends' true feelings about situations, and it's very upsetting. The thing to me is, look, and I can say I'm part of this situation because I grew up in a neighborhood full of black folks, and we feel like it's not that we don't like cops, because we appreciate what they do. What we want to understand is say that, look, Black lives matter, because it's so hard and frustrating to say that we want the cops to say, look, you, Ryan, are not doing a good job as a police officer. What you're doing is wrong, but they don't. That's what we're trying to say, is call out the injustices that it's happening besides just agreeing with it. That's the frustrating part, because they're labeling us as, oh, you guys are all prejudiced, and oh, it's all about black people. Now you have all lives matter, native lives matter, gay lives matter, all kind of lives matter. No, we're all one people. We are just trying to call it out because it's happening right now, you know?
Well, I think there's accountability that needs to go, to your point, on the police officers, because, you know, for the Black Lives Matter rally, what I see it from like a third party is the fact that there is unjustifiable violence towards black people. And maybe there is some consequences to what they're doing, but a lot of them are innocent people. And this could happen to any one of us. So it's a bringing out awareness that regardless of where you're from, there's good cops, there's bad cops, good people, bad people. Yep. But either way, I think it's getting out of hand now, because I just feel like people are starting to use firearms a lot more than trying to discuss their problems out there. And that's what's frustrating and scary. I have family that are in that environment, that are in the police environment. And, you know, I pray today never comes that it happens here, and I don't think it ever will. But it's still close to home when innocent people are being shot or being put in the middle of the situation, when it can be resolved. It just needs to be from an upper level where people are communicating. This is a tough one for me. I can see both sides, but at the same time, end gun violence.
That too, but I also believe that as we are in media plays a big role in it too. Yeah. Media gets to pick and choose what the American people see, point blank. And right now it's just negative, negative, negative. They can steer USA or anybody's thought one way or the other. They have the power of influence, and I think that needs to stop too. I think that plays a big part of it too.
I saw on Facebook not too long ago, there was a Black Lives rally on one side of the street, and then there was another conservative party on the other side of the street, and they were both picketing against each other. Well, the two leaders kind of said, this is kind of stupid.
I've seen that, yep.
Why don't we just come together and know that our nation's in peril, our nation needs to reform, our nation needs to come together and try to fix what's going on. And it was so cool. And that segment wasn't shown very much, and if it wasn't for the people of Facebook, it wouldn't probably have gone out as much as it did. But you're right. Media did to show that. You know, those are little things that are happening, that there's concerted efforts for them to come together, but it's still, what we see is dramatized. What we see is, you know, realistic, but at the same time, boy, it's all over the media. It's all over TV.
It's selling views. They want to sell views.
Yeah, well, I know that all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, everybody matters, but I'm hoping that at one point we can just get to the point where it doesn't need to be gun and bloodshed because it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Let's all hug.
I know. We just need to
Can't we all just love
let's
each
come together
other?
for a hug.
right?
We just need to love.
All lives matter. Everybody love each other.
Everybody love each other.
Yeah.
and
You want
hug.
to start now? You want to hug now?
But I did want to say one thing, and it's kind of triggered when you said that. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they talked about, this girl shared a story that they were at a picnic, and I want to say this really quick. And a guy had come in with a gun, and he was like holding them up and asked this picnic in their backyard if he wanted money from them. Well, whatever, they didn't have money. So it turned around, they offered him a glass of wine, and they were just trying to like cut the situation, and he ended up taking the glass of wine, hugging them, having a group hug, and it's all how you react to different things. You know what I mean? Like if you're getting to something negative, and first thing we want to do, impulse, is go negative back. If you change your way of thinking and like maybe this is too much, but this is the way I think, you know what I mean? Like, and he ended up having a glass of wine with them, taking it, walking out, nothing ever happened, you know, when they found his glass out on the curb, he had left them and was like, just totally
It is that
turned his
power
day
persuasion. You know, if more people just adopted that mentality that they're not out to get me, that we can diffuse the situation and that we can spread love, not
Communicate,
violence.
yeah.
And then
I
it
guess I'm
could
a
start
hippie.
small, and I agree with you. It just needs to be put out to a larger faction and realize that people, you know, life and death is at stake here, and
Yeah.
it's not that serious.
Maybe we
Oh,
should,
no,
we,
I
we
shouldn't say
should
it that
be-
way. I mean, your feelings. I mean, you can always work through them. That's
Yeah.
what I really want to say.
We should be the media outlet that spreads the love.
Spread.
There you go. We spread
Are we
love.
paying by the minute or what? Come on now. We should be the one that spreads the love.
All right.
Okay.
With that being said,
Yeah, with that being said,
because
totally
I will hug all of you.
He will.
I have no problem with that.
He'll spread his love.
The next topic that we want to bring up here is let's talk about the Early Childhood Development Program and the firing of 2 employees. It's all over It was all over Facebook. It was a big Facebook thing in our community. First of all, I want to address the situation by saying I'm not supporting anyone. What I'm saying is it sounds a lot worse than it is. It's still bad. But when they say 12 counts and 7 counts, that's not individual counts against a child. What that is an event happened, the harassment happened, the one charge of harassment happened, and there happened to be 7 kids in the classroom. Or and there happened to be 12 kids in the classroom.
Yeah.
So those are the counts. So I just want to make that clear for everyone because when
clarify.
I first heard it, I was appalled too. I was like, holy, 12 kids, and it's not even like that. It's 12 kids were in the class when it happened. So
Yeah,
with that
witness
being
to it,
said,
yeah.
what are your thoughts about the situation?
Well,
and-
what are the facts? Okay, so we know that it was put out on Facebook that there was an investigation pending and it's still going on.
It's still pending, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so tell me about it. Like, treat it like I've never heard it before and I want to know.
well, what had happened was, again, I think we all heard about it the same way that you heard about it, a Facebook
Somebody
post.
had shared something
Somebody
on
had
Facebook.
shared or made a post
A
on
personal
Facebook.
post.
Yes.
Yeah.
About
And people were just share, comment, negative. It turned into race, the whole race thing. You know, these non-native people in our
these
school
white ladies coming to
system.
beat the native babies.
And I just want to put that out there. Like, this has nothing to do with
No,
race. It can, like
absolutely
we've
not.
said
It
before,
happens
it can
everywhere.
happen anywhere. It's happening everywhere. It's just not here. It's just it happened to happen here. And first thing that we like to do is say it's race, and it has nothing to do with race. It happens. Bad decisions happened, and there's consequences to it.
But there's processes in place, correct?
Yes.
So each
Yes.
program that's under the St. Regis Mohawk Tribe umbrella, there's processes that are to take care of these events. And everyone did their due diligence to make
Yeah.
sure that it was handled properly, correct?
You know, it's,
Yes.
the investigations are happening, the cops are involved, you know, and I think the tribe and I think the police and everybody involved, you know, the whole education department, I think is doing a great job. You know, I think they're handling it, they're following their processes, you know, they're doing
It was an
everything.
isolated
Yes.
incident.
And that's one thing I wanted to make clear with everybody, especially like us and everybody who was on that post and talking so negatively and making and right away the first one was, oh my God, my kid's supposed to go there in the fall, or I take my kid there every day. My poor kid's gonna get beat every day.
And that's
That's
just it.
not the case. That
It's
that
still a safe
program,
environment.
Yes, that program.
is getting a bad rap.
They-
and I feel
as a whole.
horrible for that because I know
Exactly.
there's amazing, great people that work there, you know, and the whole program isn't something to be
Yeah, let's not shut down the whole program because of this
an
incident.
isolate. Yeah.
You know, like Anthony said, this stuff happens
Everywhere.
everywhere. It's not just ours. It's not just the white lady coming to beat up the Indian babies and all that stuff. This happens everywhere. And we are so sensitive to it right away because, let's face it, as a community, we are very sensitive to things like this.
Yeah, especially involving our children.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I think we can all agree when it comes to our babies and our kids. We are so protective, as we should be, because we are trying to preserve the next 7 generations. And that's supposed to be our goal and our lot in life at this point as mature professional people, and for the parents and for the people who are discussing this on social media. Maybe 7 generations from now, Facebook will just be a thing of the past, and they'll be talking about us like, remember when people
I think
used
it'll be
to...
all telepathy next.
It'll be all like 3D, this and
I heard
that.
what that person thought of me. You know?
Right, exactly. That, again,
Jeez, no.
this should not define the ECDP program because there are amazing men and women who work in that program
Yeah, exactly.
who are all about the safety of our kids.
But you know what? We also have to give recognition as well to the process, to the investigation, to the fact that St. Regis Mohawk Tribe actually held a meeting to kind of clarify and just
Yeah.
put it out there and what's going on to keep everyone as informed as possible.
Yes.
I know they
Because
had a
again,
meeting.
people just run with
They had
everything.
a meeting with the staff. I know they had a community meeting, you know, like going through everything because there was so many rumors
Right.
from Facebook.
Of course.
You know, Facebook's evil.
Well, it's not.
It's
People
not all-
need to be responsible for what they post on Facebook, and,
Yes.
and I hate to say it like that, but because a lot of people's voices are through social media nowadays, where it has taken a place a lot of times versus going to a meeting. And you know what? I'm a proponent of that as well because when I was at the tribe for that summer, I was trying to get Facebook to try to get people to communicate. But
Yeah.
now it's getting to the point where just be responsible in what you're writing. I
Yeah.
don't know how else to say
Unless
it.
you've heard it with your own ears or saw it with your own eyes.
But it's like many other things that happen at the tribe or happen at any event. Everyone has an opinion, and then when they try to do something to get the opinion of the community, this and that, how many people show up?
Exactly. Yeah.
They talk on Facebook. They're Facebook tough. They're this and that. But when it comes time to really do some action and to have your voice heard, they're not there. There's always excuses. Well, I had this, and I had that, and I had this. Okay, but you were the first one to put your opinion out on Facebook.
And then what I don't like about it is that a lot of times it's accusations. They're not afraid to put people's names out there. I mean, even if there is hypothetically any legitimacy to what they're saying, I mean, it just can cause a firestorm of, you know, doubt amongst, you know, even leadership for that matter. I've seen our own council take hits.
Yep.
And it's just one of those things that, you know, this happened, it was taken care of, there was an investigation, we move forward, and we still have to realize that this tribe is in place to protect, again, to your point, 7 generations and our children within the community.
Have faith in the process.
Absolutely.
So I would like to say, good job, tribe, for handling it, and to the people that handled it, it was handled well.
And stay strong to all the employees, you know, like not all of us think that it's a horrible situation, you know, like it is a horrible situation, but I mean, not all of us think badly of the
whole program.
you know, like it just breaks my heart because I know a lot of people.
Well,
there.
you know the old saying that one bad apple can ruin the bunch.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes it is true because it just puts a negative light on the entire situation. However, to your point, there's still a lot of really, really good, you know, employees that work with the tribe,
Yeah.
regardless of what race they are. I mean, we all have a job, and people are doing it well.
So, on that note, we'll go to commercial.
At Mikinaks, we're really proud of our Cub Cadet mowers. They make very dependable, very durable mower. They've got 62 models of lawn mowers. If you're mowing a half an acre or 10 acres, we got a machine that'll do exactly what you need it to do. You can get the 0 turns with the steering wheel or the lap bar. We've got a 1969 Cub Lowboy outside that really speaks to the durability and dependability of Cub Cadet. They're an American company made in the United States, and we're really happy to have them as our primary lawn and garden equipment.
Brass Horse Pizzeria and Lounge, home of the award-winning wings. Whatever your family is hungry for, Brass Horse Pizzeria can serve it up. From subs and wraps and the famous award-winning jumbo wings. Call today at 518-358-6122, pickup or delivery. If you're looking for a relaxing night out, maybe catch a game or pay-per-view fight, the Brass Horse Lounge is the place to head. Friendly faces, relaxing environment, and the patio is now open. Brass Horse Pizzeria and Lounge.
Okay, all right, welcome back. So we talked about some heavy topics today, so let's get into something fun. Let's talk about Cornwall Ribfest. I go every year. I know Benny goes every year.
Look at Amber. Okay, put it out there right now, Amber. Why are you making that face?
Why are
for
you making that
Ribfest?
face? Explain.
Typically, I don't like ribs. Don't tell my dad.
Why?
Because he barbecues them, and I just had some a couple weeks ago. But I don't like them because they're messy and they get in my teeth.
Oh my God. So we're gonna take Amber probably this week, and we're gonna bring her wet naps, and we're gonna bring her floss.
And we're going to
Because
get
we
you
need
on
her to
camera
go,
eating
yeah.
a rib. You're going to have
I
one
know,
rib.
it's
So if
just
anybody really wants to
messy.
piss her off, somebody should post sauce all over their face and
God.
post her on Facebook. Tag her on Facebook.
Anthony Tillman,
chunks-
that is your
Big chunks of pork
that
hanging
is
on your
your homework for this weekend.
My goodness.
As
Put it all over
messy
your
a barbecue
fingers.
face as you
and-
can get, and tag her in it.
I'm going
All
to
like
lunch there
chunks
tomorrow.
in your teeth.
I'm going to the lunch tomorrow. I'm going to come to your job, and I'm going to give you the biggest barbecue kiss ever.
Oh, snap.
But we're also trying to tell her too that there's not only ribs, but there's
Yeah.
chicken, there's sausage, there's beer, and there's also entertainment throughout the entire day. It's a
Entertainment,
festival.
There's beer.
I'm excited about the festival.
And it's not barbecue beer.
Are you sure? It probably is.
Well, not only that, like it's Ribfest, there's all that stuff, but then there's these companies and these I know what you. They're not
Vendors?
chefs, but
Yeah, they're vendors.
I
They're
think
actually
they're
on a
vendors,
national
but-
circuit. They go from city
Yeah.
to city. I know Cornwall is this weekend. I'm actually going to a volleyball tournament in Brockville the first weekend of August, and they're going to be in Brockville. So they kind of have this.
So
Are you
Benny's,
following
Benny's
the
just
Ribfest?
following him is all he's trying to say.
It was
really?
coincidental. It was coincidental that I'm going to a volleyball tournament
Sure,
too.
Benny.
Totally
Sure,
coincidental.
He's a
Sure.
stalker.
I may or might not have some chicken and ribs.
you heard of
while
the
I'm there. I
Powwow
don't know.
Trail. He's hitting the
Yes, he's in
Ribfest
the
Trail.
Ribfest trail.
Hey, you got to follow what's good.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to get dirty. I'm just saying. I bring an extra shirt.
It's a rib.
And
you
a
gotta go
washcloth.
crazy for ribs. I mean,
So has it
They-
always been 4 days? Thursday, Friday?
no,
Saturday,
they added an extra day this year. I think this is the first year that they're doing 4 days. Typically, it's been Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but because it's so popular and it's growing so big every year,
Like 100,000 visitors.
yes,
Right?
that place is packed. It's like you want to kind of pick the day that you go. I always go the last day because people are so sick of it by then that it's
It's
like, okay,
quiet.
yeah, it's quiet. You can go right up, you can order. Because if you go like during the busy days, like Saturday during the day, Sunday during the day, or even like Friday evening, it's packed and you're standing there in line for some ribs for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. How long did we wait that one time that we
We
went?
were probably like 20 minutes at the most, but there's like 8 vendors that you can actually try. And there are some connoisseurs out there that are going to try. I'm going to go this one this day, I'm going to go this one to lunch, this one dinner, and they'll make sure they try every one. Because these are competitors that go nationwide to show you what they have. It's a showcase of the very best. I'm
And
telling
they-
you, if you've never been, it's quite the...
I'm really busy.
Yeah, but
I
it's
know.
do you know, at least check
I
it out.
see Shania's twin is going to be there on Friday night.
She sure is. We know you love some Shania Twin.
Texas Tuxedo is going to be there Friday night.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's definitely grown from the first couple of years that they've had it to where it was like 1 or 2 days to now it's like 3 days. Now there's full 4 days of entertainment.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
it's big, huge event.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our another episode of Akwesasne Review. We had a lot of hot topics, but we ended on a good note. Once again, just promoting our Ribfest at the Cornwall Lamroo Park, Thursday through Sunday. It's a great opportunity to get some beer, eat some good food, and maybe meet up with some friends, or bring somebody that's never been before. But again, my name is Benjamin Herne. I'd like to say, Onegi Wahe.
Bye.
Now you can touch your mugs, guys. Now you can touch your mugs. Blink glasses.
We should go like this. Take our picture.
Wait.
Let's get closer.
Get in
closer,
here.
Anthony.
I know.
Okay, that's my binder. That's okay.
Okay, now like make stupid faces, like stick your tongue out at her. Love it.
I want mine washed, rinsed, and shined every week.
Shut up.
I'm gonna do it then.
I know, right?